Good morning. My name is Zhang. I am a professor of international business from the Schmidthorst College of Business. First of all, I'd like to thank Cordula for the opportunity to speak at the EGE conference. As we all know, the main purpose of this conference is to share with our students the international activities that have been done by other students and try to encourage more students to gain international experiences through meaningful research and creative activities in all fields of study. Globalization is changing the way the world works. The employers are increasingly looking for workers who have cross-cultural competence and cutting-edge technical skills. Studying abroad is a life-changing experience for many students, opening their eyes to different ways of life and promoting understanding and tolerance. Research shows that students who study abroad have better grades, experience less attrition, and graduate from college at higher rates than students who don't study abroad. Since I teach international business courses, one goal for our international business program is to help students learn how business are conducted in foreign countries. So taking my students to study abroad is an idea that stayed with me for more than 10 years. Until 2017, I finally got the opportunity to start a faculty-led study abroad program in Xi'an, China. So today, I'd like to take this opportunity to share with you my experience of taking students to study abroad in China to learn Chinese culture, history, and business. Okay, so let's start with a brief summary of the program. Like I said earlier, I started this program in summer 2017 and did it again in summer 2018 and 2019. So students who participated in this program earned 3 credit hours by taking multiple cultural lessons, doing a business project, visiting local companies, and touring historical sites in Xi'an and Beijing. So this one shows you more detailed information about the program. So you can see the students are taking the course. The courses here at BGSU is the BA 4390, doing business in China. And then followed with the program activity, which include the cultural lessons and the business tours, cultural tours in both Xi'an and Beijing. I will talk about the details later. So I would also like to start to talk about why did I choose China? So as we all know that business is all about human interactions. So culture plays a very important role in such interaction. With a 1.3 billion people population, China provides a rich context for students who learn the important role of culture in international business. And China is huge. And why did I choose Xi'an? Xi'an is the capital of Shanxi province. It is one of the oldest cities in China, and it is the oldest Asian capital for 13 dynasties, which include Western Zhou, Qin, Western Han, Sui, and Tang. It is also the home of the Terracotta Army of Emperor Qin Shi Huang. The most important part is that it is the starting point of the Silk Road. In another word, it's the starting point of the China's international business with the rest of the world. So it's a must-see for business students who visit China. A little bit more on how did I run the program. Like I said, students will register business courses here at BGSU. So they will register either 4390 or 4920 and to learn international business content. And they are also going to learn cultural lessons through a local hosted university in Xi'an, China. Here's a little bit more details about the requirements, okay, as I already showed you earlier in the slide. So the business content will be taught through 4390 or 4920. The cultural lessons include martial art or Tai Chi, traditional paper cutting, calligraphy, Chinese painting, traditional Chinese food cooking. And the student also will have opportunity to visit companies. And I also invited guest speakers to talk to them. And students also need to complete some business projects. And at the end of the program or through the program, there are opportunities for them to see a lot of cultural sites in Xi'an and Beijing. Why did I want to let the student take some cultural lessons? Because I want the student to learn calligraphy, because I hope that they can learn the Chinese language and the character structure. And they learn painting to understand the Chinese aesthetics and philosophy. And they can learn Tai Chi to understand the importance of philosophy, of harmony and balance. And through tea ceremony to understand the business etiquette. And making and tasting all kinds of Chinese food to really enjoy the culture. Like I said earlier, I required a student to complete some business project. So one of the business project that they conducted is market entry project. I asked the student to choose a product once they arrive in China that they think there's a market, there's a demand for that product. Then they will have to work together to analyze the business environment and come up an entry strategy to introduce that product into the Chinese market. Okay, so and the next year, I asked the student to do a comparative study. So I led them to compare KFC and McDonald's between China and US. And last year, I asked the student to do a case study on a local business and see how it is operated differently in China and in the US. Okay, so from now on, I'm going to show you some pictures for our student while we were in Xi'an, China. This picture was taken at their calligraphy class and paper cutting class. On the left side, that's Patrick, who was learning the Chinese calligraphy. On the right side, that's Rachel. She was making the paper, she was practicing the Chinese paper cutting. And that word is xi in Chinese, it means double happiness. And she was very happy that day, you can see. This picture was taken at the Xi'an Historical Museum. We were making the Terracotta Soldier. On the right side, that's Nick. He was having fun trying to finalize his soldier. This picture was taken after a long day trip at the Forbidden City. It was really hot, I remember. And after a long day, we went to this tea shop. The lady gave us a lecture about the different kind of tea and how to make tea. We again enjoyed the afternoon and enjoyed the different kind of tea. This picture was taken during their martial art class, and they were learning Tai Chi. So this picture was taken again at the Silk Road Museum. On the left side, that's Cody. He pointed at the coordinate, which was told that's literally the starting point of the Silk Road. And that's a group who went together that afternoon. We learned a lot about the Silk Road, and students asked a lot of good questions, and they learned a lot about the history about the Chinese early international business. This picture, again, was taken at the Silk Road not the Silk Road, the historical museum. And we were taking a picture with the model of the terracotta. We were not allowed to get into the pit to take the picture with a real terracotta model. So after we completed all the studies and presented our final project, we went to Beijing. As you can see in the back, that's a bird nest. So we visited the bird nest that day, and we took the picture in front of the bird nest. This, I don't know if you can recognize this one, but this is the Temple of Heaven. We visited the bird nest in the morning, and in the afternoon, we went to visit this Temple of Heaven. Okay, you might have heard this before. He who has never been to the Great Wall is not a true man. So in order to prove that we are all true men or true women, so we all try to climb to the top of the Great Wall. Of course, not the top, but the top where we can reach. In this picture, you can see on the top point that a couple of us managed to climb to that point. So after showing you all the pictures, you might have an impression that they really had a lot of fun in China. Yes, they did. But they did not only have fun while they were there, they really worked very hard. This is only a list of sample assignments that were completed by one team in one of those years that I took them to China. To be more specific, I wanted to give you more information about some of the projects that they completed. For example, Rachel and her team member worked on a comparison of market strategy of KFC in China and the US. Lexi and her team member worked on membership policy and promotion strategy for a local movie company. And Patrick and his team member studied agriculture business in China and improving modern day farming beef market in China, green beef. You can see these topics are very interesting and very meaningful. So they definitely had to work very hard in order to complete this topic, this research during a very short period of time. Hard work paid off. The students really earned themselves the recognition they deserve from the audience and the EGE through their hard work and this international experience. One of the team presented their project at this EGE conference and won the award. They made me very proud. Okay, now I would like to use Summer 19 as an example to help you understand more about the whole trip. So this mini presentation will cover the whole trip from the beginning to the end. You will see more pictures and videos so that you can have better ideas about what we really did over there. So, depart at the airport on the 7th of June. Everybody got very excited. And on the very first day, we went to Yuanjia village for our project, okay, case study. So we started to collect data and interview from the beginning. The student did a lot of preparation and learned about this village and how the business was, conducted over there before the trip. And they were visiting their museum and conduct interviews. Very lucky that day is a festival, so the student got to eat some special Chinese sticky rice, the traditional Chinese food. Not only that, they got to learn how to make it too. This is a video about how to make it. And we took picture with villagers and the head of the village. Tea ceremony, that's the instructor showing us how to make tea. And we got to try it too. And they were taking the Tai Chi lesson. The calligraphy lesson, Chinese painting. Okay, so each student was told to pick a flower, and the teacher, the professor, explained the personality of each of the flower and asked the student to pick up one that matches the best with their own personality. So that's what they did. They pinned the flowers and we took a picture together. More pictures at the museum. So this is at the Silk Road Museum. This is an early version of the currency, the silver coin. The student, at the end of each summer trip, I did a little survey and asked the student what they like and what they hoped for the, what they wished that we planned to do. The students said they wanted to do some more, like see more natural environment. So last year I added the natural environment, sightseeing for the mountain. We climbed the mountain. This is the Cuihua Mountain. It's a beautiful area. So more pictures at the museum. And of course, we had a lot of delicious food. And this is the fish hot pot for dinner. And we learned how to make noodle. See how much fun they had. More picture about making noodle. Okay, so when we were done at Xi'an, we went to Beijing, okay? So that's the last stop in China. So I purposely let them take the bulletin as a transportation. I want them to experience the Chinese bullet train. And it's a fascinating experience for all of us. And after the tours and visits and all the sightseeing, etc., at night, we went to the night markets and did some shopping. Beijing duck, of course, for dinner at the most famous Beijing duck restaurant. A lot of delicious individual hot pot for dinner. And, okay, of course, the Great Wall. This is at the Summer Palace. Toured the city on the rickshaw. That's, of course, their first time experience on a rickshaw. At the bird nest. And this is Peyton, and she were having dinner at McDonald's after her, information collection for her project. One more reason why I chose Xi'an as the destination for our study abroad trip is because Xi'an is the heaven of food. They have a lot of different kinds of delicious food. Here are just some of the pictures for the food. Like I said earlier, the students worked really hard during that short period of time. They have to collect data, they do some analysis, and they have to work on their presentation, write a project paper, and make a final presentation at the end of the trip. So this is this picture was when they were making the presentation. The quality of the presentation, the amount of information they collected definitely impressed all the audience. And they all received their certificate from the director. This is Director Zhu. I've been working with him for 3 years. And he's a wonderful man, and he helped our student a lot. This is a farewell dinner. The student not only learned a lot about the Chinese culture, history, and business, but also made a lot of great friends. And as of what I know, many of them are still in contact with their language partners and research helpers. This is very valuable friendship. And I'm so happy to see that happen among those students. So with that, I would like to conclude my presentation. But before that, I want to talk a little bit more about the future plan that I have for this program. I actually had one plan for this summer. Unfortunately, it got canceled because of the COVID-19. So on the safe side, we plan to resume the program in summer 2022. We want to do more, in-depth, collaboration with local university, especially through their College of Business. And we plan to have the student do more like a international, team project, collaborate and with each other and work on some, project together, analyze the local market and analyze the business problem, and make a recommendation and give a presentation by the end of the program. I am very excited about this idea, and I wanted to make it happen in 2022. Finally, I want to thank you for listening to my presentation. Thank you for your patience. I hope you enjoyed the presentation. I also want to thank all my colleagues who helped me for this program. from the day that I had the idea all the way to now. Without your sincere help and full-hearted support, there's no way that I can complete this task. So thank you so very much one more time. That's all from me, and thank you again. So stay healthy and have a good rest of the semester.